are there, values are there, ethics are there, standards are there, and long-term goals are there. There is a judge who is working in Court 9 in Egmore, and he used to call me and tell me, sir, when I was an MCOM student, you told me that I am talkative. I am better suited for a BCom BL or MCom BL. Later, I became a lawyer or a judge. Today, he has become a judge. So, long-term goals as a teacher, when I told him for his behavior that he is fit for a judge post, today he is a judge. Similarly, I told some people to be an accountant, to be a finance manager, or to be a teacher, or in some other profession like starting their own business, entrepreneur, rice mill owners. All has happened because they have come out of the emotions which as a teacher I had, the values I had for the students and their environment, ethics I followed in my life, the standards I protected for my academic deliberations, wherever, whatever I go. I never went to any university for some job like valuation or question paper setting, because I always think whether it is your higher post or any kind of thing, they should come to you for your qualifications and for your familiarity. You should not go and beg and borrow with a begging for things. That is the core elements of a transformational teacher and encompassing approach. This is a TQ that describes a wide range of qualities that influence where followers and students are bound together in the transformational process. You should not become an idealistic person and totally secluded from the society. You should be part of the society. You should be invited for marriages. You should be invited for funerals. You should be invited for their all such things. Where a teacher should be seen as a teacher inside the classroom, and outside they should be seen as a friend, philosopher, guide, brother, father, or whatever roles people can say. So all these four, process, influence, core elements, and encompassing approach make a teacher transformational. And for you, your own introspection, I would like to ask a few questions. If you could be anything other than the present teacher, what you would be? What stopped you from becoming a banker, an officer, an UPSC, an IAS or IPS, which you would have aimed for? The self-examination is needed. If you could do anything other than teaching now, to start a business, to run a fleet operation, to become an agent of a company, LIC, or other insurance, what you would have become? So self-examination is needed. If you could have any strength or quality in your character, which ones would you have? Because now you may miss some qualities which you think better I had that quality. What type of a quality you wanted more? This you have to think about. So what stopped you from gaining it? Self-examination needed. For example, this particular bar diagram explains what we learn and how do we learn and what is the source of learning. We learn things by reading to the tune of 10% only. When you hear, listen, you learn 20%. By seeing and learning, you get 30% knowledge. And by hearing and seeing together, by seeing and hearing together, we get 50% knowledge. And by discussing the subject, we get 70% knowledge. And by experience, you gain 80% knowledge. And by teaching, you get 95% knowledge. So, as a teacher, you have 95% knowledge. In the first stage, reading, students have just 10% knowledge. So how do you match your status with that of the status of a student to gain everything what you have in your mind? I had a professor who is an excellent teacher, a very high impact teacher, Professor B. Varadarajan. Most of you may not know what happened. He expected every student like me to grow up to his expectations. When I submitted a research proposal in 1984 April for my PhD research, which I completed in 1987-88, when I became a teacher, 30 years ago, 33 years ago, when I became a lecturer in Annamalai University. In 84, I presented a synopsis or a proposal. I submitted 6 proposals in 6 weeks, one by one, after going through a lot of materials. But all proposals were turned down by Professor B. Varadarajan because he was a PhD by then. He expected the qualities of a PhD graduate in a student who is just joined PhD program. This is the gap between the teacher and the student. Later on, my guide and professor, my mentor, Dr. M.O. Matthew said, all the 6 proposals are good enough to make a PhD thesis because you are a learner, but he's a professor, already got his PhD. So you should choose any one of the 6 and become a scholar under me. That is how I have chosen my research in industrial marketing or marketing of fertilizers in India. It is all your thoughts. What Abraham Maslow said, when all you own is a hammer, every problem starts looking like a nail. When you own a hammer, any problem will look like you as a nail. I would tell you that when you see everything as a nail, when you see everything as a nail, you beat yourself for not owning a hammer. What I mean to say, when you see your students as slow learners, nothing before you, what you should become first, you should be a hammer so that you can nail them out. So all people see the world not as it is, not as it is. Everyone is looking at the world, but as they are. From my point of view, I look at the world. From someone else's point of view, they look at the world. There are 7 qualities Stephen Covey is telling us to make a fantastic teacher, fantastic leader in you. First thing is dependence. Dependence quality has got 3 sub-qualities. One is be proactive. Number 2, end in mind. You should act things with end in mind. And thirdly, first things first. These dependent variables, dependent qualities will make you independent. But once you become an independent, you should go for the 4th quality called thinking win-to-win situation. And fifthly, understand others before you are understood. Sixthly, cooperate, synergize all energies around you. And lastly, what is called sharpen the saw. You should focus and finish. These are the 7 qualities Stephen Covey, a management scientist, is telling. I would like to tell you this with the example of a small story here. A man found an eagle's egg. An eagle's egg, a man found in a mountainside. He brought the egg to a hen nest where he put the egg for hatching. After some time, chicks came out. Even eagle chick also came out. Eagle chick with the other chick started growing, and it grew as if it is a chicken. And as months went, chicken have grown in their own shape and model, whereas eagle has grown as an eagle. There was a structural difference between the chicken and the eagle, but the eagle had the qualities of the chick because it always thought it is looking like it was looking at other chicken, So it thought it has no qualities of flying high. It cannot reach the skies and clouds, and it cannot go above clouds. All these things he could not think because he grew in an environment where he limited his thinking only as other majestic, although it had got all powers inside. People used to say in Hinduism, Lord Anjaneya does not know his original powers. If he opens his heart, he will see Lord Rama and Sita together, and his powers are unimaginable. Like that, every teacher has got unimaginable powers which they have to develop over a period of time. An icy mountain is hanging or floating on the sea. What you could see outside, what you could see outside is only half of it. That is called the personality you see. But the real character is inside the sea. So what you see outside in the icy mountain is something like your character for everyone's vision. Whereas your original character is hidden inside, which you have to unearth and bring it out for the benefit of the society. You have all good thinking. You have all good character. You have all good purposes for which you have to earmark time and make people to benefit out of it, for which you have to dedicate yourself in the noblest profession called excellence. Doing things is not one by training and imbibing certain qualities. We are what we repeatedly do, or what we repeatedly do. A heart specialist, a open heart surgeon, cardiothoracic surgeon is a cardiothoracic surgeon, cardiologist, because he is doing the job again and again. So opening the heart of a human being and making some surgery and closing it back, making the man go normal as it is his day-to-day job. He will do at least 3 surgeries a day. That means what we are, what we repeatedly do. Aristotle said, excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So if you want to become an excellent, a man of excellence, a professor of excellence, a teacher of excellence, you have to develop a habit with some qualities. These qualities are based on your knowledge level. The knowledge level means you have to continuously learn what to do, why to do, how to do, where to do, when to do, and so on and so forth. And you must have the desire to learn. That is very, very important. You have to be interested in each and everything. For example, if you want me to cycle, I can cycle. Swim means I can swim. If you want me to walk, I will walk. If you want me to run, I will run. I know all these things. Similarly, I have the interest to do it. That is very important. Skills. Above all, you have to learn some skills. So you should have 3 things: knowledge, desire, skills. Knowledge, desire, and skills. Combination of the 3 will become your quality. So qualities are internalized principles and patterns of one's behavior. Waking up in the morning. Normally, children of this age, my daughter and son, they wake up after 6. But for me, my practice is to wake up at 4:30, 4 o'clock. So 4 to 6, I have 2 hours a day. Per week, I have about 14 hours. Per month, I have 60 hours. And for an year, 720 hours. So per year, if I work more, 720 hours, for about 33 years of service, you multiply 720 into 33, so many hours divided by 8 working days, you have worked more in your 33 years of life. That is how my biodata has gone very lengthy. That means you must have the internalized principles and patterns of behavior, which is your quality, which you have to gain. There is an anonymous statement. Be careful about your thoughts. Be careful of words, for your words become your actions. Be careful of your actions, for your actions become your qualities. Be careful of your qualities, or your qualities become your character. Be careful of your character, or your character becomes your destiny. So your thoughts become words, your words become actions, your actions become qualities, your qualities become your character, and your character becomes your destiny. And your destiny is in your thoughts. So you have to synchronize and achieve it. I am confident you can do that. The first quality I would like to say, I would like to take the first three qualities and explain in detail so that I can finish it in time, I believe. Raise your hand if you have any three of the following. If you have any three of the following qualities, you please raise your hands in your level, in your place. I can't. Certain things you say, I can't. I have to go. If I have to go certain places, I have to go. I have the mental commitment. I have to go. I don't know how. I don't know how. And he makes me so mad. When you think about others, when they trouble you, you say, he makes me so mad. There is nothing I can do about it. For some people, you are able to give an explanation. There is nothing I can do about it. She thinks I am not good at certain things. I can't control that class. Some days and some months or some semesters, we say, I can't control that class, so I cannot go to that class. I hate Mondays. Certain days, you always say, I hate Mondays. If any of the three you have, you don't have the proactive quality. What is proactive quality? You should be ready for any time. You should have the two important things to be proactive. What are they? Response. For any challenge, there must be a response. Ability. What is the ability? You have the ability to face. Both response and ability joined together make you responsibility. You are a responsible person because you have both the quality of responding. You always have the ability to approach things and face things. So response, ability, both together, you become a responsible person. Responsibility is there in you. That means you are a proactive person. Franklin says, Victor Franklin says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. Stimulus and response. You put the clock to wake up at 5 o'clock. The clock is ringing. That is the response. Stimulus is there to wake you up. What is the response you do? You hug your pillow and say 5 more minutes. That means the space between the stimulus and response is there. In that space is our power to choose our response. If we have the power to choose your response to wake up, in our response lies our growth and our freedom. If you want to be a free man, free woman, you can do whatever you think. It lies in your growth. If you want to grow, it lies in your response. And your response is depending on the space, power you have due to the stimulus factors around you. So stimulus is always there in a society. You don't have enough money. You don't have a vehicle you wanted to buy. You don't have a house you wanted to own. You don't have many. Many don't have, you have. Stimulus is always there. But where is the proactive quality which is essential for you? So, proactiveness, whereas consciousness is there, independent will must be there so that you can become a reactive to the proactive behavior. When between stimulus and response, proactiveness is there. For proactiveness, you should have the reactive attitude. When you are reactive to your proactive principles, you will achieve whatever you want. A boatman, Abdul Kalam, has become the president of India. A missile man, Pokhran, atom bomb And all these things he has achieved because proactive behavior of that man had enough reactive results which brought him to the office of the President of India. So here I want to make a mission statement to become proactive. When you are proactive, the next important quality you wanted is end in mind. What you have to achieve, that has to come in your mind, and you have to create your proactive quality to go towards the achievement of your mission. For example, my mission is to champion others, to grow personally, to grow professionally, to grow emotionally, and to grow spiritually by using my compassion, my unique perspective, and my belief in others' inherent goodness, integrity, and enormous potential. As human beings, we have enormous potential, which we never accept. For some reason or other, we don't accept it. But once you started accepting your potentials, you don't have time. 24 hours is not enough. As a research student, I used to work for 20 hours a day, believe me or not. 18 hours I used to work for my professor, Dr. M. O. Matthew. 2 hours only I used to work for me during 84 to 88, in which I completed my PhD. I will always admire myself. With just 2 hours of hard work, in 4 years, I could achieve my PhD. But still, I worked for 20 hours a day. That means 18 hours for the department, for the head of the department, for the guide, for the friend, for the philosopher, the man who gave me everything in life. Ilangovan is talking to you now because of Professor M. O. Matthew, who found out that there are some inherent qualities in me to make a good teacher, to grow like this after 30 years, or 20 years, or 10 years, or so. He only identified some qualities and told me, you continue your work, you will reach much further heights. So the mission statement is like this. So you have all qualities. The only thing is you have to work hard and try hard and achieve things. The third important quality I would like to tell you is put first things first. Put first things first. This has to be remembered forever. You have many objectives. You have many goals. You have many aims. Which of the aims are important and which of the aims are urgent? You should know the difference between urgent and important. If you are able to make a demarcation between urgent and important, you will become a very successful man by choosing first things first. Here, Covey is explaining with a glass in which he puts big rocks first. Big rocks of life, your big challenges, your big aims, your big goals. First, they must be put into the jar. The second, he puts a small sandy goals or mission or your aims. And thirdly, he puts a still small soil inside that. Fourthly, it is filled with water, rocks, gravels, sand, then water. Like that, you should know what are your big rocks and what are smaller, much smaller, still smaller, and then what is water-like goals and all. Once you do this, you can fill up your life with more of achievements. I was working as a placement officer. I was working as a cooperative society vice president next to our vice chancellor. I was working like a program coordinator of NSS. I was working like a program officer. I was working like a mentor of Commonwealth Youth Program for an international diploma. And above all, I was always working as a teacher in the Department of Commerce. I was guiding research scholars from 1988 to 2020. And I was extension work going around many villages, conducting programs, Blood Donors Club. All these things I was able to do along with my family, my wife as a doctor, my wife as a medical professional in a medical college, my daughter, my son, my family, my parents, my brothers, sisters, everything I was able to look after to the best satisfaction at my level. How? Because put first things first. Know what is important and what is urgent. I have given you in my PowerPoint a time management matrix in which I have given 4 variables: important, not important, and urgent, not urgent. These variables will make you understand what it is. For example, important and urgent: exam tomorrow, friend gets injured, late for work class, project due today. These are all important, urgent. Important but not urgent. What is important and not urgent? Paper due in a week, exercise, planning or goal setting, relationship or relaxation. Important but not urgent. Not important and urgent: unimportant phone call, interruptions, other people's small problems, peer pressure. These are all not important but urgent. Like that, if you are able to classify your time management matrix or things, you can make first things first. So you should be able to divide your goals into 2, short-term and long-term goals. What is the most productive thing that you can be doing with your time right now? What you have to do right now? What can you do in the next 10 minutes? What can you do today? What can you do this week? And what are you going to do in this month, this term, semester? What can you do this year? And what is your plan for next 10 years? All these things are in your time frame, time management matrix. So these 3 qualities: be proactive, keep end in mind, and put first things first. These make you to be from dependent stage to lift you to the independent stage. 3 main qualities that will make you a very big successor. Successful person in your life. This is making you at private level, at your level, victorious. You will become victorious with these 3 qualities. If you want to become a public victory, if you want to become a very popular leader, you need 3 more qualities. Win-win. In whichever activity you involve in, you must be able to attain your opposite man to win so that you can also win. Always you should be available for win-win situation. There are 3 situations: lose-lose situations. What happens? So a man is killing somebody else. That family is killing this man. So lose-lose. Lose-win. And win-lose. But the 4th important one is always important. What is that? Win-win. You win, your enemy is also winning. The 5th one is you should understand others, then you should be understood by others. As a leader, as a teacher, you understand your students first so that they will understand you better. This is the next important quality you need. Synergize. You have all the 5 qualities which you have to synchronize, and you have all resources around you which you have to make it cooperative to your way so that you can achieve, and lastly you can reach, sharpen the saw. So this is how I followed Stephen Covey and gave you these qualities for your high impact transformational quality to become a very successful, effective, and efficient teacher. There are some other qualities which I wanted to list down. In next 5 minutes, I will finish so that I was given 1 hour time. The list of some other qualities are: challenge the status quo. Always challenge the status quo. Don't accept this is followed for last 20 years. So this can be followed for 21st year also. Because change is permanent. Change alone is permanent in the world. While things are keep on changing. Mask, no one believed mask. 2019, January, February, March, April, if you thought about a mask, people will be laughing. But today, if you go without mask, people are laughing. That is the change that is happening around us. Challenge that status quo. Confront assumptions. Never accept assumptions. It may be right, it should be like that, it should have been like that. Don't. You go into the details, ask for why and what, and then achieve the point. Exhibit curiosity. That is very important. Like to investigate new possibilities. You should always be able to find out something new, useful for your organization, for your department, for your class, for your students, everywhere. Whichever new things which you think easy for others, you should be able to tell others. Then tend to take initiative in most matters. Don't sit in your chair and isolate yourself. Go to the front, go and talk to the higher ups and ask them whether you can do the job, whether you will be given the job to do it. So that initiative character will take you to further ladders. Highly imaginative. You should think and you should compare. You should know the things going around the world, and such imagination will help you achieve more. You should be always future oriented. Future oriented. Your futuristic thinking, your futurology will make you a best teacher. I have been working for future gains always. This is very important for any teacher. Tend to think visually. This is very important. Visual thinking is always important. It is not a dream. When you think certain things, you should be able to create a shape for that so that you can give a plan for that. See possibilities within the seemingly impossible. When some people say it is impossible, you should see the possibilities within the impossibilities. Maybe 4 or 5 things impossible for the college or university or for the department, for the students. Within the 4, which one of the 4 is still possible to a certain extent? Like that kind of a quality you need. Don't be afraid of taking risk. Mistakes will come. You should be prepared to face your own mistakes. Adaptability to different working environments is also important today. Adaptable to changing circumstances. Your head of the department may change, your management may change, your vice chancellor may change, your registrar may change. Whoever is coming to the new job, they will see you, your work, your interest, your proactiveness, that will make you stand and go on with your job. The relationship between the disconnected elements. Always there is a relationship between anything, and such a relationship is to be maintained. So have a courtesy with anybody, whether he is a sweeper, gatekeeper, driver, or any menial or dean. Keep your relationship alive. Distill unusual ideas and underlying principles. Always you scale down your thinking to make your thoughts pure. So distill unusual ideas, synthesize diverse elements, and you should be able to spot underlying patterns in certain events. Connectivity is always there between one event and the other event. A boy who may be good in culturals may not be good in studies. A boy who is good in computers may not be good in manual operations. So you should be able to spot underlying patterns in events, and there are paradoxes. You should be able to cope up and look beyond the first right idea. There will be something called the right idea, even to the topmost management. But your thinking should be beyond that right idea, maybe the first idea. And when you develop a new idea, a better idea, that will become the best idea rather than the first right idea, you will be appreciated. So, my dear friends, with these 60 minutes of deliberations, I could share with you what are the important qualities of effective teachers, the essential qualities of effective teachers in higher education. I am confident and sure by listening to this webinar, you would have been able to gain some points that would have gone into your thoughts. You get the PowerPoint presentation from them and have a glance over that. And whatever right which you feel important for you, please accept it. And if you don't feel it is right, you are free to communicate to me in the given email ID or over my phone. Interact with me so that I know where I went wrong and what kind of corrections I should make for my improvement further, so that I will not be making the same mistakes in my further discourses somewhere, some institutions or future programs. I am still thankful to the Department of Commerce, Faculty of, especially the head of the department and my good friend Mr. Vetrivel for giving this opportunity. And my salutes to all my teaching fraternity and my namaskar to all my friends who are listening to this webinar today. Thank you one and all. Good luck to you. And I wish you a very wonderful life in future. Be safe, stay in and stay safe. And I pray for all your families. And now I request any questions or discussions. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Ilangovan sir, for your insightful, thought-provoking speech. We can evidently, it is very clearly evident from the chat box, we can see it. You have really inspired many people, and also you will continue to inspire many people, sir. And now I call upon Dr. Lakshmi to put forth the questions on behalf of the participants. Dr. Lakshmi, over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Audible, ma.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. This is a question from Dr. M. Kaleshalvi. During this pandemic situation, as a teacher, how can I support the students from rural areas who have less technical knowledge?
Who have less?
Sir, I repeat the question
Which
once
knowledge?
again. I repeat the question once again, sir. During
Not
this
the
pandemic,
question, which type of knowledge? Which knowledge? Before the knowledge, you have a word. What is the word?
yes, technical knowledge, sir.
Technical knowledge. Technical knowledge. Yeah.
Yes.
I understood the question.
Okay.
As a teacher, you have your technology at your level because your institution is supporting you. Even at home, you may have a mobile handset with which you will be able to contact and communicate. For many students in rural areas, today the ownership of an Android phone is still a luxury. And for those students, it is very difficult to cope up with your communication and other teaching methods. For them, it is better they borrow and learn. Karkai nandre, pichai puhinum karkai nandre. You can borrow and learn. Wherever they find a mobile phone with Android system, they should tell them that they need their help for half an hour, 1 hour, so that they can get the instructions from the teacher. And for learning, everybody will be interested to help. And today, there are some families where there are more than one mobile system with each individuals, like cars and two-wheelers, they have in multiples. There also they can make a request. The only thing with our students is they don't go and approach people for making a request that they need such an instrument for their educational purpose. Because the general faith or general belief in the society is youngsters are misusing the mobile. Youngsters are misusing the technology. That particular student or students should come above that, and they should prove that they are using the instrument only for education purpose. And if they are able to prove it in their own local community, they can win. This is my reply to the particular students. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, sir. One more question, sir. Sir, excuse me. One more question is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it is not a challenge for teacher to handle diverse group of students, but considering the different level of maturity, how can it be addressed?
Can you please repeat the question, ma?
Yes, sir. It is not a challenge for teacher to handle diverse group of students, but
Okay.
considering the different level of maturity, how can it be addressed?
Actually, this is not at all a question, because you are a teacher for a group of students. When you teach for an hour, 60 minutes, You may be knowing the continuous attention level of an individual is only 7 minutes. Any individual can be very attentive to anything, at least at the most to the maximum of 7 minutes only. So every 7 minutes there will be a break even for the digestion. This is the human psychology. That is scientifically proved also. That means all the 60 students are not continuously attentive to your class because they have in between breaks. Such breaks sometimes are informative or sometimes unaccountable. That means some students gain 90 plus marks, a few students get 10 terms, and some students get 60% marks, and about 30% students even fail in that particular class or subject. That means your teaching is not bad. Your teaching is uniformly good, and the learners have to gain the knowledge through better understanding. For better understanding, attention is important. Attention cannot be continuously for 60 minutes or 50 minutes, as the case may be, because their mental capacity is to gain only for 7 to 10 minutes each. If this is the case, as a teacher, you should deliver the subject for 7 minutes continuously and go for a break. That is why we make some questions, we ask some questions in between. And if you time your questions at every 7 minutes, your teaching will be understood equally good by all the wards, all the students. So the key is with you. As a good teacher, you should program your teaching first 7 minutes, one particular topic or subtopic. Second 7 minutes, another topic or another subtopic. In between, a small story or a joke or any questioning or a quiz or any interesting thing, any general knowledge which they have to learn. Such a gap filling exercise a teacher has to take. I used to spend 10 minutes out of 60 minutes, especially for general knowledge or advices or cultural aspects or subject knowledge or connected aspects or world knowledge or world politics, something I use. So 6 minutes, 1 minute. For every 6 minutes, 1 minute. So 7 6 minutes plus 7 1 minute. I will divide the class so that I will be able to reach. I think I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. One more question is there from Balamurugan. He has put the question, what type of counseling is preferable, handling the students from indifference behavior of listening?
Indifference is in everyone. That indifference differs from level to level. A first standard student is indifferent in his own style by crying on the floor. He will lie down and cry. காலையும் கையும் ஆட்டிக்கிட்டு ஒரு குழந்தை தரையில படுத்து அழுவும். அது ஒரு indifferent attitude. At 8th standard level, you are punishing the neighbor. பேனாவோ பென்சிலோ எடுத்து பக்கத்துல இருக்கிறவனை குத்துறது. That is a kind of indifferent attitude. At UG level, adolescent age முடிஞ்சு. So indifference is there at every level, but we have to give them counseling privately or in public. The counseling which is required at UG level is in private, and at PG level, at the group level, all teachers together should invite a PG student and tell them he has enough knowledge, he has enough time, but he is not doing it, whereas he is wasting his time inside the class. Not only is wasting his time, he is wasting our time also. That way, all teachers put together should tell them so that he will be able to understand. Whereas a UG student, one-to-one, you should call an 18 years old, 19 years old, or 20-year-old students to your staff room personally, ask them to sit and tell them their family background and tell them their goals in life. And if they are correct at this age, they will be better at different age at 20. It will be better. Like that, we try to open their eyes instead of finding fault. Counseling should never end up like fault finding exercise. Counseling should be morally supportive and physically admissible and academically supportive exercise. Every student is a good student. Even a misbehaving student is a good student. And your counseling method is to be so variant, person to person, place to place, UG to PG levels, level to level. That way you can be able to satisfy the needs of the students and achieve. But out of 100, always there will be 2 or 3 who cannot be corrected. That also is in cards. So when 2 or 3 cannot be corrected at any point of time because they are grown like that from childhood, we have to forego. And surgery is the best solution. And at some point of time, the management of the college has to take a decision to retain or send them out. This is also there. But counseling should be productive counseling, supportive counseling, and always friendly counseling. More than the parents. Mata, Pita, Guru, Devam. That means more than the father, better than the mother. And somewhere near God, you should be able to be there. Error is human. Forgiving is divine. So a teacher has to forgive students for their own well-being, because you are a change agent. You are going to change the mindset of batches of students who are going to make the society. And the society is reflecting the country, Indian society. That means it has got its own rich traditions. How the traditions are built up? By practices. Who taught those practices? We teachers taught these practices. So we have to accept and adjust with the present day culture of the students and try to be more supportive and give productive counseling for the better future of our own future children. At this age, my dear participants, whichever city I go in India, there will be some student waiting for me in the airport or in the railway station or at least in the bus stand. I always used to stay with my students. I will not go to a hotel or lodge because my relationship with my students is just like father and son. Once it was like a big brother and a younger brother. That is how I used to handle. I was a very strict teacher, which many students will still accept. But still inside the class, I used to be very strict. But outside the class, I will be totally friendly. And friendliness for their better future. This has happened. And you are talking to a live example of a teacher who had given good counseling, better counseling to the students always, who loved me like anything. Thank you.
Sir?
Tell me.
Thank you, sir. One more question from Padmavati ma'am. How to handle the students in during lockdown period?
Not clear. Not clear. Not clear.
Okay, sir, I'll repeat. How to handle the students in during lockdown period?
Government is our ultimate. Our government is full of intellect. The high thinkers, think tanks, big planners, and master planners make the government to work. We are just an individual. We are part of the society, but the government is all in all. They give the guidelines. They give us the roadmap. You just follow the instructions of the government. That is enough. And they know what is better. Until yesterday, 10th examinations was there. But today, 10th examination, 11th examination are suspended. Rather, they were given all pass based on their pass. That means what? There is a working government. One successful government, center and state, they help us in day-to-day activities. They are doing more than 24 hours planning for every day and give us all information from every corner. So you look into the Setu application, this app, you have a Setu app, I think. The Setu app is giving you about Corona and its position. For every 500 meter, how many people are affected by Corona? For every 1 kilometer, for every 2 kilometers, you should know. This kind of information government is giving. So lockdown period is a period to protect the people of the country. And life is more important. And our students, our future, and our country is depending on the youth population. With the 130 crores population, we have 65 crores of youth. For the entire world, they are the assets. If you are going to guide our youth, you should guide them properly. Education they can get the next step, but life is their birthright, which we teachers have to accept. Just to follow the instructions of the government. Whatever the directives come from our authorities, college authorities, university authorities, to blindly follow. That is the right thing anybody can do for our youth population, particularly student population. I simply obey my orders of my vice chancellor, my registrar, whatever they say, I just say yes and I carry on, and I know that is better for our students. Thank you.
Thank you,
Lakshmi
sir.
madam, okay. Lakshmi madam, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Yes, enough.
No, I think we can put forth the remaining questions to SAR's mail ID so that we can get it, because since it is
Sure.
it is getting.
Okay,
I'm
sir.
always
Sure, sir.
I
Thank you,
welcome
Sure, sir.
all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Thank
Wonderful.
you so much, sir.
Sir, nice presentation, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'm Dr. Jagadish, head of the department. Thank you. Thank you. Very good presentation to the participants, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very kind of.
Thank you. And now I call upon Dr. Indra for the vote of thanks, for the formal vote of thanks. Dr. Indra, over to you.
Okay, okay.
Yes, this is Dr. Indra.
Yes,
Sir,
ma'am,
is
you are
my
audible.
Yeah,
voice
Go
Vishnu,
ahead.
audible, ma.
Yes,
Okay.
audible. Go ahead.
Good evening to the Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Elangovan, Professor, Annamala University, respected HOD sir, faculties of Vistas and other institutions, research scholars, and all of you. I would like to start my vote of thanks with the words Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Mageshwarah, Guru Shasak Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. First of all, I would like to thank the management. Without their support, it won't possible to organize the webinar. Respected sir, it's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks. I, on behalf of Department of Commerce, Vistas, and the entire team, thanks to you, sir, graced us with your presence and lecture. Thank you so much for your sharing your time and experience with us. It seems everyone I talk to wants me to express appreciation for your wonderful presentation in this session. The presentation you gave us a close look about the essential qualities of effective teachers in higher education and the important qualities of teachers, and insisted us how responsible we are and your patience to respond to all the questions from the participants, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks our Vistas Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor, Registrar, Controller of Examination, Deans, Directors, and HODs for the support and guidance to all of us. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for our Dean, Dr. Ramakrishnan, School of Management Studies, to encourage us continuously. I wish to express my gratitude to our HOD, Dr. P. Jagadishan, Department of Commerce, Dr. Chandran, Department of A&F, Dr. Subramanian, Department of CA, Dr. Venila Shri, for providing encouragement to organize the webinar. Last but not least, I thank you all the participants for showing their interest in the webinar. I once again thanks everyone for making this webinar successful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Dr. Indra, for that. And before I formally conclude, I have certain points to share. Probably you would have got, the participants would have got that, would have got their feedback link. And if you have not got it, please do not worry about it. You will still get it in WhatsApp group and other, through mail. And for any certificate related inquiries, you can contact Dr. Venila, Dr. Jaykani, and Dr. Suganya, and the mail will follow you. Thank you for that. And I also am very happy to make a point that we are also having one more webinar on the 14th of June, that is the coming Sunday, on the topic of paradigm shift in global trade post COVID-19, which will be handled by the two eminent educationalists. One, Dr. S. Guruswamy, the head Department of Commerce of University of Madras, and Dr. P. Natarajan, the professor from the Department of Commerce, Pondicherry University. So I also request all the participants to register for that webinar also. And before we conclude, I personally would like to thank and I would like to express my sincere thanks to the resource person, Dr. Ilangovan sir, for sharing his very insightful ideas. Sir, we are very thankful to you, and probably your experience would guide us in the upcoming years, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Definitely. I will be with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I think now, yeah, we can all drop off. Thank you so much. Stay home, stay
Thank
safe.
you so much. Thank you so much. God bless. God bless all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Bharati sir, Bharati sir, Bharati sir, we can stop the YouTube live and we can.
Hello.
Hello, Bharati sir, we can stop the live streaming and we can end the session, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yes. Bharati sir.
Hello, madam.
Bharati sir.
Bharati sir is in mute, Indra ma'am.
Oh, shall we end the session, ma'am?
Yeah. சார் யாரோ கூப்பிட்டாரு, நம்ம இவரா ஹெச்ஓடி சார் கூப்பிட்டாரா?
அதான் எனக்கு யாரோட வாய்ஸ் தெரியல, அதுக்கு தான் பாரதி சார்னு பார்த்தேன்.
No, he is in mute.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.